Hi everybody, this is Talfi bringing you Act 5 of my Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia 100% growth except Python's defense LTC. It's time to wrap up the playthrough. Act 5 is kind of an epilogue to all of the intense action. We have a total of 5 maps, all of which we are going to one turn, and honestly, 3 of those maps are barely maps, they're Alm's solo maps. We start off by heading back to the Regalian village again to make one final forge. We are going to forge a maxed out rapier for Alm to use on the first map of Act 5. This is the only sword we forge in the entire run, so I decided to give it a name worthy of a sword that would be used in the late game to do something. We do have to sell some stuff to actually make the forge. Oh wait, no, I screwed up and you didn't. I didn't actually need to sell anything. Oh well. I dumped the remaining stat boosters that I don't have a different plan for all on Alm because he is the main combat unit in Act 5. I'm saving the Somas, which are the attack boosting items, for Tatiana, which I end up giving them to her for Endgame to give her more warp range. Two EXP wells in Duma Temple. We give one of them to Silk just so her magic is even. Though in hindsight that's not even necessary and it would have been better to give that to Alm. And even with Tatiana, I give her these EXP and attack boosters, but with more usage of swap you could probably get around needing to give some of them to her. But it's okay. We're hacking weapon stats and Alm is not doesn't have hard benchmarks once you factor that in. Berkut and Renea are both stationary on this map, and also we can't trust Alm to enemy face them regardless, so we need to send Grey and Cliff in to deal with them. We forged the Anya so that Alm could enemy phase the Dread Fighters and the Fiends on this map. It is possible to rearrange this clear a little bit to make sure more of the enemies go for Alm than actually do in the clear. I just wanted the run to be over at this point, so you're going to see a fair amount of sloppiness from my end. For instance, the Fiends end up actually going for Cliff. He does have enough strength to one-round them, so that's not the issue, but the EXP would have been nicer to have on Alm. This is actually a turn save that was discovered by Karma relatively recently. By getting the... okay, so to kind of back up a little bit, we're in Alm's Trials, which are a series of 3 solo maps where Alm needs to route the entire map. And on the first map, most LTCs two-turned it because the Lich at the top of the map cannot be attacked on turn 1 while staying in range of all of the remaining enemies. But Karma discovered a very precise exploit where you can, much like the zero turn of Dragon Shrine, it's possible to get ambushed by the stationary enemy, and that causes all of these other enemies to attack Alm on turn 0 enemy phase, meaning Alm can kill the Lich on turn 1 player phase to complete the map in 1 turn. Alm does get fatigued during his trials, but we have all the provisions he could ever want. For the second trial, we just need Alm to move up 1 square in order to be in range of all of the enemies, which is also the reason why you can't just zero turn this map by getting ambushed. Alm is using the killer bow for these maps, but like honestly, he could probably use something like the blessed bow and still be just fine given that we're hacking crits. That will be the second trial map in 1 turn. Alm is fatigued, so I had him drink some water. On this map, Alm first equips the speed ring to have 6 move to get to that particular tile before he switches back to the killer bow and picks off the Arcanist. Getting to this tile lets him be in range of all the remaining enemies, which will let us once again 1 turn this map. Concludes the last of Alm's trials. Now it's on to Endgame. The Endgame is a kill boss map, and because we have 2 warpers, we can go for the 1 turn. It's not possible for Alm, no matter how good his stats are on hard mode, to 1 round the final boss, so we need to warp in a unit who can chip the boss down. And then for the boss's last bit of HP, the boss has a skill where once he drops below 52 HP, most of our units can no longer damage him. Like, even if they have perfect accuracy, the game pretends as if they missed. So, this is because the game wants you to kill the final boss with Alm using the falchion. But there is a holdover from Gaiden where Nosferatu also can kill the final boss. We're not going to do that in this clear, but it is possible with a bunch of swaps and like repositioning some units around to get the final boss kill with Faye with the Grimoire ring equipped. Instead, we're just going to go for a very simple clear. We gave Tatiana 2 Somas, so she has 26 magic. Here, Reinshield Silk can put Cliff right over there without needing any swaps. and he can do 150 out of Duma's 200 HP with a Hunter's Volley double crit. Not that much time for Duma's HP bar to scroll down. But anyway, now that he's below 52 HP, Faye rescues Alm forward so that Tatiana can warp him. Tatiana currently has the speed ring equipped so that she can move 6 squares forward. Then she trades the speed ring to Alm because he needs to move 6 squares before she warps him, a full 13 squares to put him right there. Alm then uses his 6th move to get right up in the face of the boss before he switches to the falchion, which of course has been hacked to crit because I didn't want to have to redo this map. Alm needed 1 crit out of 2 hits here, which obviously we got in first hit, and then on his killing blow always plays this animation, and that concludes the map in 1 turn. That's Shadows of Valentia completed in 93 turns. You can save 3 turns over my run by following the steps which I will outline in the bonus video. And you can also save 1 extra turn over my run if you play with the definition of the category somewhat. Basically, the category is defined as all fixed encounters, and that includes the Hexlock shield fight. But I discovered that you can still hit all the EXP benchmarks needed without having to do that fight, which lets you save 1 extra turn. That means that while my run is 93 turns long, the turn floor for all fixed encounters with full or incomplete recruitment is 90 turns, and the turn floor without having to do all fixed encounters is 89 turns. This of course is assuming that Dragon Shrine is counted as a 0 turn, but why wouldn't you, unless you don't like fun? I recorded the turn count scroll, but it doesn't include the encounters in dungeons, so it doesn't count the 3 turns spent grinding Silk up in the Thief Shrine. It also, I believe, does not count the Brigand Boss encounter in Thief Shrine. It doesn't have the 0 turn of Dragon Shrine, and it doesn't have the 2 1-turn clears in the Fear Shrine. This one was quite interesting to do. I'm very fond of Route as an LTC objective because I feel like once you know the LTC algorithm, route maps, and fine, I will grudgingly admit that escape maps are also interesting, but I'm really bad at them. But yeah, route maps are the kind that are the most interesting. And they continue to be challenging even in a run like this where you're hacking weapons to always hit and crit and having your units perfectly dodged. Like figuring out where you need to put your combat units can be a challenge. And there can also be improvements to EXP routing. Most LTCs would have trained up a Mage Tobin, but as I was looking at the previous LTCs of this game that were done, that's when I realized, oh, every single thing Mage Tobin does could be replicated by somebody else in the main squad, helping concentrate the EXP. I'll see you for the bonus video.